The night is thick, heavy with the scent of dust and the rushing waters of the Jabbok River. A man stands alone on the edge of a destiny he cannot outrun. For 20 years he has been a fugitive, a master of shadow and deception. But tonight, the shadows have found him. Tonight, the man known as the heel grabber will face an opponent who cannot be outmaneuvered. This is the story of a midnight struggle that reshaped the history of a nation. The night Jacob wrestled God, and in losing his strength, found his soul. To understand the man by the river, we must first understand the name he carried, Jacob. In the ancient Hebrew, it meant supplanter, literally one who trips someone by the heel. From his very first breath, Jacob was a striver. He had stolen a birthright for a bowl of stew. He had deceived a blind father to snatch a blessing meant for his brother. He was a man who lived by his wits, always one step ahead, always looking over his shoulder. But as he stands by the Jabbok, his past has finally caught up. His brother Esau is approaching with 400 men, and for the first time in his life, Jacob's silver tongue and clever hands are useless. He is terrified. He has divided his family, sent his possessions across the water, and now he is stripped of everything but his own heartbeat. There is a profound silence that occurs when a man is truly alone with his conscience. The Jabbok stream cuts a deep, jagged path through the mountains of Gilead, a natural border between the here and the nowhere. Jacob has sent everyone away. Why? Perhaps he needed to pray. Or perhaps he simply couldn't bear to let his wives and children see the terror in his eyes. In this isolation, the landscape itself feels hostile. The darkness isn't just an absence of light, it's a presence. It's in this void, this middle ground between his old life of lies and an uncertain future, that the unexpected happens. Out of the darkness, a figure emerges. No warning, no introduction, just the sudden, violent impact of bone against bone. Imagine the scene. Two figures locked in a desperate, silent embrace, tumbling in the dirt. This isn't a choreographed sport. It's a raw, primal struggle for existence. The text tells us a man wrestled with him. But as the hours grind on, the atmosphere shifts. Jacob, a man who spent his life wrestling for status, for wealth, and for favor, is now wrestling for his very life. The hours pass. The stars wheel overhead. Sweat mixes with the river silt. Jacob's muscles scream with fatigue. His lungs burn, yet he does not let go. There is a strange tenacity in this deceiver. He has spent a lifetime holding on to things that didn't belong to him. Now he holds on to this stranger with a grip born of absolute desperation. As the first gray light of dawn begins to bleed over the horizon, the stranger realizes Jacob will not yield. Think about the mystery of that moment. The creator of the universe, disguised in the form of a man, allows himself to be held by a creature of dust. Then, with a mere touch, not a blow, but a touch, the stranger strikes the socket of Jacob's hip. In an instant, Jacob's strength is liquidated. The joint is wrenched. The pain must have been blinding, a white-hot agony that should have ended the fight. But here is the pivot of the entire story. Jacob does not collapse and quit. Instead, he shifts from wrestling to clinging. He no longer tries to win, he simply refuses to let go. "Let me go, for the day breaks," the stranger commands, but Jacob, hanging on with the last of his strength, his leg useless, his body broken, gasps out the words that define the rest of human history. "I will not let you go unless you bless me." It is a staggering request. Jacob finally realizes who he is holding. He is no longer fighting a man, he is holding onto the divine. He has realized that all the blessings he stole, all the wealth he accumulated in Haran were nothing. He is bankrupt and he knows it. He doesn't want his brother's inheritance anymore. He wants the blessing that only the Almighty can give. The stranger asks a question that seems simple, but is actually a surgical strike to Jacob's heart. "What is your name?" Decades earlier, when his father Isaac asked that same question, Jacob lied and said, "I am Esau." He had spent his life pretending to be someone else to get what he wanted. But here, in the dirt, crippled and exhausted, the masks fall away. He whispers the truth. "Jacob, I am the deceiver. I am the heel grabber. I am the one who has made a mess of everything." It is only when Jacob confesses who he truly is that the stranger transforms who he will become. Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed. This is the great paradox of the faith. How does a man win against God? Not by overpowering him, but by surrendering to him. Jacob won because he stayed in the fight until he was broken. The name Israel, the name that would define a people and a promise forever, means he who strives with God. It is a badge of honor earned in the furnace of a single night. The stranger blesses him there, and then, as mysteriously as he arrived, he vanishes into the light of the rising sun. Jacob names the place Peniel, meaning face of God, for he said, I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. As the sun rises, we see a new man. He is walking with a limp, a permanent reminder that his own strength was never enough. This limp is his greatest trophy. He crosses the river to meet the brother he feared, but he is no longer the scheming coward of yesterday. He walks at the front of his family, not the back. When he meets Esau, he bows 7 times. The man who wrestled God no longer needs to trip his brother. He has been broken into wholeness. The story of Jacob at the Jabbok is more than an ancient legend. It is a mirror for every soul that has ever felt the weight of their own failures. We all have our Jabboks, those dark nights where we must drop the facade and face the truth of who we are. Jacob won by losing. He found his strength by admitting his weakness. If this journey through the shadows of the Jordan Valley has moved you, we invite you to join our community, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell as we continue to uncover the cinematic depths of the greatest stories ever told. Your support allows us to keep bringing these timeless truths to life. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the greatest blessing is found in